am a co-owner of Barkin Beauties here in Martinsville, Virginia. Right when COVID hit, we were both working at a corporate grooming shop together here in Martinsville. That's where we met each other. The regulations and restrictions that the corporate had put us in a restraint that we felt like it was best for us to move out and kind of start our own business. There were a lot of businesses that were interested in moving in the area. And it's kind of upcoming, a lot of young and new businesses, and we were excited that we found a place here in Uptown that we could join them.
So since February of 2020, we've had quite an interest in entrepreneurship within the city limits. So we've had over 48 businesses either start or expand since February 2020.
In 2021, that's kind of when this private practice business came about. I think during COVID, we learned a whole lot about health. You know, we kind of saw a surge in unhealthy eating behaviors and also like an increase in other chronic diseases like heart disease and diabetes and things like that. So my business is called Oakstone Health and Nutrition. I'm a registered dietitian. And that's why I started the business, to fill some gaps in the community and bring some more nutrition services to the area.
Just before COVID, we actually owned another store just across the street as an antique store. We were in the store for about a month and a half, then COVID hit, so it was very hard. My wife was pregnant for our second kid, and we were up in Roanoke at another children's store, and I was honestly standing in line, and I told my wife, I said, why don't we try this in our own location? It's a small town and we really need a store like this. We buy and sell gently used merchandise, clothing, bathtubs, cribs, strollers, everything really that a kid needs.
So I think just having that time to just reflect on the things that are really important, I think that has been what triggered people to start a business.
So at the beginning of COVID, of course, I was nursing, and I was also a floral designer / event designer doing events. When COVID hits, my business came to a halt. The venues were closing down. I was working 12-hour shifts in the ER. Once the pandemic kind of slowed down, the venues started opening back up, and people were actually wanting to have events. So I was getting a lot of phone calls while being at work. You know, when you're nursing, you cannot answer phone calls. You're just busy taking care of other people. So it was that time when I knew that I had to do something. Once business started up, the idea popped in my head that I could actually start my own flower shop, and that's what I did.
It's quite remarkable for us to have 40 plus businesses that either started up or grew during COVID for a community our size. So it's phenomenal to us to have those businesses start up and to have an 86% retention rate.
Of course, as a nurse, I've seen a lot that was actually devastating from COVID, but it was a positive impact on a lot of different people, a lot of communities, and a lot of businesses.
I've heard stories from my parents and my grandparents that this area used to be prosperous. Now that that's coming back, you know, it's exciting to be included in that.
I mean, I would love for the whole place to be filled. They're trying to keep it structured to where there's not multiple of the same businesses here, which I think is a great idea. If you have too many of the same store, nobody succeeds.
We saw a lot of people say, like, Martinsville doesn't have a lot. Now we no longer are hearing that because a lot of these entrepreneurs are bringing those experiences, they're bringing those services, they're bringing their knowledge back to this area so that the next generation that's growing up here, they can be proud of where they come from and say, like, we have a lot to offer here in Martinsville and Henry County.
Thank you for watching. Continue to follow Virginia News and Stories by subscribing to our VPM YouTube channel.